Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, the chosen of the chosen few. I greet you from my heart to yours with the love that lights the truth. I am Akila Textry, and welcome to the divine energy essence of it all. This is a code 10. And for those of us who have been following the series of this code number, you'll understand, you'll see where code 10 is at. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it seems like this energy is coming harder. It's faster. The light frequency is coming faster and faster. And it's like we can't process it fast enough, especially for those of you who are really doing the soul work. This light density this fifth density light is really just pouring in. And if you have been cleared up, your vessel is that much more open. If you have no resistance, you have no stuck energy, you have no blockages, so that it's just going right through you, and it's harder for us to catch it. So I know I'm not the only one, so don't feel like you're alone if this has been happening to you. It's like the days don't give you enough time, which is why I'm even out here late. For those of you who know, if you've been watching this, I've been doing this starting, in the daytime from the first one. And now it's like I'm chasing the sun. Like that little light right there, that's barely what I could catch. That's a little bit of light, that's left in the day. So with that, I'm going to jump right into this code 10. What is this code 10? For someone who may just be watching this, let me briefly explain that we're in the window, if you will, what I call a type of vortex, a cushion vortex of new beginnings plus 5. The new beginnings are 10 days from the 10th through the 19th. That started in February, and it goes all the way through December, and it's a numerology code that was highlighted that we are working with. Those of us, excuse my loud background, those of us who have been working this, my soul tribe family, my 5D family, we've been really working with these new beginnings since February. And every month, every time we come to it, it was a theme. So, there's the 10 that was in February, where all the days matched that day. If you add up the entire date of that day, it matched that day. So the 10th, when you added up all the numbers, it matched 10. Same thing all the way through 19th, and that's how it was in February. We realized in March it was the same thing between the 10th through the 19th, but it was a +1. So the numbers will add up to that number +1, and so it was for the rest of the month. So here we are at 10 plus 5. So in the month of July, from the 10th through the 19th, it's a 10 plus 5. And so the theme is really balance, is what we're looking at. The balance between 5 represents the balance between the physical and the spiritual. And so this is the theme that we see kind of playing out. And to back that up, to support that, the energies that support that in the celestials are the fact that the truth that Mars and Venus were traveling together with 5 degrees between them. And I believe that it was from June 18th to about July 18th, from the 18th to the 18th, which I spoke about that already. Those numbers in itself say something. The 1 and the 8 is 9, so it's kind of like saying from completion to completion. But Mars and Venus is a masculine and feminine energy, so it's a balance between the masculine and feminine. So we're still seeing that balance between the duality. And what I have to say about code 10 just kind of brings it home with this duality and this duality dance that we're having. And we're working on having an integration, not just not just between others, but most importantly within us first, within our soul. And this is what it's really pointing out. Where do we find this balance between the physical and spiritual, which is within our soul? Again, between the masculine and feminine, that is within our soul. So this is what we're working out in this cushion of new beginnings plus 5. So again, code 10, and I'm going to go ahead and share with you the theme that I got out of today as I meditated, because as I said, I get this Johnny on the spot. As I get up for the day, I meditate. It just pours in, and I get what I can get in to share with you all. So this one was time to come out of your comfort zone. And that came out of actually a dream that I had with a fox. I never dreamed about a fox before, but I did this time, and I looked it up. There's different meanings, and of course I go with what jumps out and resonates with me, how it felt when I saw the fox in that dream. And so the main thing that was jumping out at me was the fact that the fox is independent. So it's a matter of stepping out. The fox kind of represents that, stepping out of your comfort zone, and moving into whatever next is there for you, which is what there's many things that the fox can represent, but I'm giving it to you as it came to me. So new beginnings. So we are here's the thing too about today, we're in the window of new beginnings, and today's number code is what? 10. New beginnings. So, and the number code is, when you add up the date for today, it's going to equal that day, which is the 14th, plus 5, day plus 5, and that's going to be 19. The 9 and 1 is what? 10. 2 number 5s, 10. So with that, let me just go right into sharing what I got, breaking it down so I can give you this news to infuse. So it comes out as the code 10 sounds the alarm. So it sounds the alarm today for new beginnings. It's like a resounding sound. Hello, new beginnings, code 10, new beginnings, as it is a time. It is now time to come out of our comfort zone, which is what it's like. New beginnings, we're coming out of our comfort zone. If you look at what I spoke about previously, the video before this was code 9, and it was all about the completion, right? In the 9th gestation stage in the womb, ready to come out and ready to give birth. So after you give birth, then what do you have? After 9, after the completion, the spiritual completion of 9, you have 10. Represents starting from the new beginning, and you've just come out of what? The womb. What is so comfortable? The womb. We have to be willing to step out of our womb of the comfort zone to begin what we have been preparing for. We were in that comfort zone for preparation purposes to develop. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But it is for us to come out of our comfort zone and start something new. That's why we start back at 1, the 1 and the 0, 1. Right? So we're starting back at something new as we harmonize in our balance for integration between the physical and spiritual that we have prepared for, right? We take a step in a direction that is least traveled. Although it looks lonely, it is filled with others who are also taking a brave leap into their destiny. So we're not the only one, right? So it's when we come out of that comfort zone, it kind of feels like, oh, what am I doing? It's the road less traveled. Right? And it can seem alone, but it's not. It's actually filled with so many others like us, other chosen of the chosen few that are out here on our path doing our work. So it's not as alone as you think. It's a lot of us out here taking that leap of faith. You just don't see many people around you in close proximity that are doing it, but a lot of us are here. So this is where, at this point in our journey at code 10, this is where our soul's independence, with the stepping out of your comfort zone is you being independent in your soul. So this is where our soul's independence leads us to align with our divine appointments, right? As we choose to set ourselves apart and find the next destined coordinates along our path, because we're all this is what that great leap of faith is. You're following your destined coordinates. What are you aligned to? Of those of us who choose to infuse with the light, what is the light shining for us and within our souls? So it's helping us to find these destined coordinates. They're all destined coordinates that lead to our divine appointments every step of the way. Our focus is to take care of self first within our soul integration. Within our soul integration that completes our preparation and births us into the new beginnings of the next level, right? So it's understanding that right now, what is our purpose? It's to stay focused. Focus on taking care of self first. not in a selfish way, but do what is calling to your soul first. And you're at a soul level. I'm speaking to you, of course, at a spiritual soul level. Put your mask on first, like they say on a plane. Put your oxygen on you first so that you can breathe. When you can take care of yourself, then you can take care of others. So this is really about the coming apart, setting yourself apart. It's like new beginnings. I'm hearing Dora's song, like, you ready to go? Do 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 do. So it's that we're off, set yourself apart type of thing, right? So this is a preparation, as I said, and it gives us birth into the new beginnings, which is the first step of integrating with other souls. So just as I said, when you put your mask on first, then you can integrate with other souls. It's an expansion of the integrated balance within self, which is the individual, to others between selves as the collective. It's from soul to souls, from cell to cells, from the intrapersonal to the interpersonal, and so on, right? So we cannot extend ourselves and expand ourselves with others, between others, until we best do it with ourselves. This is a true integration that must needs be done, right? It is taking the first step. This is a breakdown more that I wanted to get into. So it's taking the first step, 1, out of the completion of the womb, 0, and going from 1 through 9 into the next womb or room, right, in another stage, and birthing to start into the next stage, and birthing to start at 1 again in another new beginnings. So it's understanding, as I'm breaking it down here, as it's shown to me, it's coming from that one that represents that first step, and it's coming through the completion of that womb. That's the completion. That's the 0, is that womb or room, depending on how we looking at it. We coming from one room to the next, from one stage to the next, from one phase in our life, from one level to the next, and we actually complete that level. It's when we have that completion of that level, then it's like we're birthed through that womb. At the completion, it's full development, full gestation, and now it's time to come out and take that next step. And that first step is 1, so it's out of the 0 back to the 1 again, right? So it's into another new beginning. So it's from 1 to 0 and 1 again, and this is the sacred code of 10. So the binary code, this is what it brings me to. Ooh, it kind of gets juicy. As I started, it was just really unfolding for me. I wish words don't give it justice. I wish I could give it the imagery that as it was shown to me. I'm doing my best to give it to you in words that can describe it. But the imagery as it unfolded, it was just showing the 1s and 2s. Immediately, I saw the 1 and 2 binary code. So the binary code explains of this very existence in the balance of our dualities. This is us, y'all. The 10, the 1 and the 0, it's us, right? The 1 is the masculine or physical that makes the move. As I explained before, the masculine is the one who does the move. And I'm just for quick explanation purposes, for those who may be seeing this for the first time, when I say makes the moves, I'm speaking of the masculine and feminine within our soul's consciousness, which is the conscious and the subconscious phase of mind. The conscious phase of mind is the thinking, it is the doing, it is the action, it is the executor. And the feminine, the subconscious phase of mind, is the feminine. It is the feeling, it is the intuition, it is the one that incubates the information, gives information so that it can be done and executed through the masculine. That is the duality. That is the duality that completes the harmony. When we have that harmony, that creates, right? It's a part of the creation. So it's this duality within us that is between us as well. You know, it's also within our personal soul, and it plays out in our life, world, and affairs. As we are expressions and souls on this planet, we become the 1s and 2s, you know, between one another. I would be, not the 1s and 2s, the 1s and 0s. I would be the 0. And of course, my masculine counterpart would be the 1. So together we make a 10, right? It's the new beginning out of a completion all over and over again, continuously. infinitely existing, right? So as I say this, I wanted to give that picture so you understand what I mean when I say the masculine, the physical. The physical represents that masculine because it's in the physical that we do things, that we get things done, even though essentially it's coming from the spiritual, right? Coming out of the womb, out of the invisible into the physical and spiritual. So with that said, this is why I say now that the one is the masculine or the physical that makes the move. That's the masculine's job. That's even the masculine in my soul consciousness makes the move, right? And the zero is the feminine or spiritual that incubates or develops and gives birth. Hence why the zero. This is why I said the Ankh is depicted in that way. As this pattern repeats itself, this dualistic code is the infinite continuum that expresses our creation. The computers, this, if you think about this binary code, the computers are a replica of our divine design. We are the gods, y'all. We are the gods, not Google. That's another story that I got to get into. You know, people have made Google to be God. They want to go to the Google, the computer, for everything. And I got to do a live about that. But this kind of sums up me explaining this code 10 and what it means for us in this creation, in the trinity of our divinity within our soul, which is the complete trinity of our soul. Threefold of our soul is the superconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious. But in order for us to hear from the superconscious, right, in order for us to activate that Christ mind, that God mind, the I am mind, we need the harmony between that duality, between the ones and zeros, between the masculine and feminine, the physical and spiritual, the will and understanding, the ego and the intuition, right? Between the masculine and feminine, all of that, whatever it is you want to call it, that duality, it explains our very existence. So these binary codes that we're seeing, the ones and twos, is nothing but a continuous, it's I want to say a computer type, a technological explanation of our existence. There are so many explanations for our existence, right? So when we look at this, how do we bring this home to, I want to bring it home now to what we're talking about in terms of how does this affect our 5D existence, right? Simple. These new beginnings, these 10 days of the new beginnings are giving us an opportunity to expand our consciousness. When we work things like these opportunities, these vortex that we're being given to work these energies, work these principles, for those of us who can catch this information, right, then you are better equipped to transition into the 5D. Remember, we're changing at a very molecular structure level, right? So it's not just our soul, it's our cells. Our cells is the vibration of our souls. Our cells interact with our soul through vibrations and how we are raising our vibrations and our frequencies. So the more we're in tune with all of this, the more we're in tune with these codes, all sorts of divination that is out there to help us. Each of us have gifts in different ways. I'm just sharing how it comes up through me for whoever it may be, for whoever it resonates with. So we understand our own binary code. We are a walking binary code. We are the 1 and the 0. We are the 10. We are the 10 where it all begins over and over and over again, continuously. So after 10, what comes next? 1. We go again. We go from 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it kind of goes like that. It's like 10 is that alarm, that sounds an alarm that, hey, we're in a new phase, we're in a new stage, let's go. 9 is that completion. 9 says, hey, we're full, we're ready, it's time to give birth. 10 is the actual visibility of giving birth.